Hello, welcome, make yourself at home. Thank you for accepting my invitation to Big Girl Brunch with Bern, where we talk about big girl things over big girl brunch. For today's episode, we're going to be talking about post-college identity crisis. Fun! I'm sorry I haven't been regularly uploading Big Girl Brunch. It's just, life has really been crazy this year. Before anything else, do I have any life updates? I have a lot of life updates, but I think I will be talking about them through this topic as well. And if you notice that our video's a little bit low budget right now, that's because I'm trying to use my webcam instead that I just bought kasi sayang naman. Also, it's so much more hassle to be using my camera, but if you prefer me using my camera, of course I can do that. Just let me know, I guess. But if this works for you, then great. Every time I ask for recommendations or every time I ask people what they want to see from me, they always ask about the next episode of Big Girl Brunch. And honestly, I really, really appreciate that. And that makes me so happy when someone asks that. It's just that it takes a long time to film a podcast episode and it takes a while to edit. But we're back. It's actually really fun to talk about myself and my life and just trying to process everything with you guys. Also, my hair's been so weird lately because it's between being short and long, and I mean, for other people this is short, but compared to what I had before, this is just a weird length. Anyway, I guess we can jump into the topic because I think everything in my life right now correlates to my post-college identity crisis. I guess to start this, I want to talk about why I even asked people if they want to hear about this. For me, I know that graduating college, I know that finishing school will be a big achievement, but I didn't know how much of a challenge it would be to get to know yourself outside of school. Because if you think about it, most of us at 22, 23, 24 would have spent a majority of our lives in school, and inevitably that will shape who we are. And being taken out of that environment was really, really jarring for me, and I didn't know that it was going to be. Especially for me, for context, I was an honor student all of my life. I was in the student council until I finished high school. I graduated at the top of my class also in high school, and in college I also got good grades and I also got Latin honors by the end of it. And this isn't to flex or anything. This is to show you that I really shaped my identity around school. It really was my world, and I would not recommend this to anyone. Do not base your value on your academic achievements, because honestly, after you graduate, it barely matters. I mean, I guess it depends on the field that you're in, but I think especially after college, no one cares if you graduated with Latin honors or not. Okay, we're all in the same, we're all doing the same job, or it really doesn't matter as long as you have the skills, because school is very different from a job, obviously. And I guess this is also to prove that just because you excel in school like I did doesn't mean that you will know what you will do after you graduate. I think honestly that's a huge part of why it's so hard for me to figure out what I want to do, because for so long all I wanted to do and to get is academic validation, and without that it's hard to know who I am or what I want. Just because you get good grades, or just because I got good grades, didn't mean that I would know what I want to do with my life. Because newsflash, I literally don't know what I'm doing with my life. And I remember when it was nearing graduation and people were asking me, older people were asking me, oh, what do you want to do with your life? And I'm like, I don't know. They gave me such a judgy look, because specifically for someone who excels in school, how could you not know what you want after. It basically felt like they were looking at me thinking, you are so good in school, but you're going to waste that because you don't know what you want after and you can't pursue it. And I'm here to tell you that it it's fine. It's really hard to not know what you want, but it's fine. I'm not doing the best, but who cares? Who cares? I guess I wanted to talk about what post college has been like for me in this episode, which also includes some of my life updates. First of all, I've been in my job for a year now and I'm still a research assistant. I honestly didn't know what I was getting myself into, but I I'm doing fine for now while I'm trying to figure things out. This is a good position to be in. Speaking of jobs, in the span of 1 year, I already quit two jobs technically. One is part time, one is full time. I don't want to get into what they are, but I will tell you that I was really terrified of quitting these jobs because I knew that I didn't like them, but I don't want to think of myself as a quitter. But sometimes things just don't work out and it's fine. I think it's really brave for us to try things and accept when they don't work out. It's much harder, I think, to admit that something is not for us rather than just like letting it give us dread while staying in that thing. I also did 3 work trips in a span of a year. One was in Bohol, which was a month into my job. The second one was in Davao last year. And the latest one, I went to Bangkok for a workshop. And I think that's the most big girl work trip that I've ever had, the Thailand one, because I've never been out of the country ever until the Thailand trip that we had. And honestly, it looked like Makati, the area that I mostly saw. But it was really exciting just to know that I was not in the Philippines and just to see like products that are not in the Philippines. Just like realizing that the world is much bigger than I see. I was really nervous for that trip because that was my first out of the country. And I'm just so glad. I'm just so glad that I got to do that. I also get to meet a lot of different kinds of people in my job, which I really think is great. And again, this isn't a job that I want to keep for the rest of my life, but it's a I think it's a good job and I'm grateful to have it. Second thing about post college, I modeled one time for Vice Cosmetics around the same time last year. I attended a few influencer events, which is crazy. I'm not big. I'm not a big influencer, but to just be invited to events is crazy to me because I dreamed of this as a 16-year-old. I also get PR packages, which is like wild because I remember being 16 and I was like, God, if I'm the one receiving those PR packages, I'd be so happy. And now I actually am receiving those packages. Social media wise, that's what's been happening. I've made a few friends also online that I've met with in real life, which is really, really nice. I also did the Virgin Lab Fest Playwriting Fellowship last year. I talked about this a few times already. If you didn't know, I was a creative writing major in college and my track was playwriting. And this is something that all playwriting trackers in Ateneo dream of. I mean, it's like supposed to be the dream to be in that fellowship, and I got in, which was just it was a dream. Although I did enter for the main festival this year, I submitted and I didn't get in. It's fine. I mean, I cried about it a lot, but that happens. We don't get in every time even if we try our best, and it's fine to just try. I could easily just not say that I submitted and did not get accepted, but I saw this TikTok from Erica Rabara. She's saying that she could just hide the fact that she's reviewing for the yung boards para sa mga doktor, and it would be a secret if she failed. but she wanted to tell people that it's okay to try. And I also want to tell you that it's okay to try and it's okay to be seen trying. It's fine if we fail. That's just life. Like, if we fail, who cares? Well, we care, but then we can try again. That's really how life goes. Even in video games, you get to try again when you die. So I've also been trying to get back into my hobbies. Wait, it's getting really dark. I should turn on my light. I've also been trying to get back into hobbies, and I don't say my hobbies because I just mean like trying to remember that I can have hobbies and just do them. I don't know, but sometimes you just forget, especially the past year. I've been so focused on doing my job and doing social media that I think I forgot that I can have hobbies that I don't have to post or monetize or share to my audience. So I've been getting back into embroidery. I've been getting back into reading, which is overdue. And I've been trying to learn a new skill, which is Illustrator. I'm not good at drawing, but I really enjoy learning new creative programs on the computer. And Illustrator has been fun. I've just been doodling stuff and I'm like, oh, the things that I see online that I thought were so hard to make, apparently I can easily make them on Illustrator and I can customize them. And it's just been so exciting to me because I never really learned Illustrator at school. So it's just been fun trying to learn something. It's also been a lot of crying, and it's because of the post college identity crisis that I've been experiencing. Guys, it's really hard. Like, I think it's hard and it's painful. It's like, I guess it's because you're trying to give birth to yourself again, because you're trying to shape who you are, and you're trying to, I don't know, you're just trying to labor through forming yourself again. It's a lot of crime because it's also a lot of comparison post college. You see your classmates from high school or from your blockmates from college or just people you know that are your batchmates, and you see them seemingly doing much better than you are and knowing what they're doing with their lives. And some of them actually know what they're doing with their lives, but some of them are also just good at faking it. And there are more of us, I think, that actually do not know what we're doing compared to those who know what they're doing. And even the ones who know what they're doing will encounter things that will derail them of their original plan. And honestly, that's just how life is. We are thrown curveballs all of the time, and we just have to roll with them. But still, I've been crying a lot. And it's because it's really been so hard. It's been so hard because I've always thought I was the type of person who knew what they wanted to be, what they wanted to do, where they wanted to go. And I'm finally at the finish line of school, and I apparently don't know who I am outside of the academe. I apparently don't know myself that well. I apparently don't know myself enough to know what I want. Because honestly, right now, all I want is to have enough money to be happy. But I also have creative endeavors that I should probably focus on and try to pursue. But I'm trying my best. And lastly, post college has made me realize that it's so hard to earn money. I Guys, it's so hard to earn money. Especially for someone like me who I think I have a lot of soft skills, but I don't have a lot of hard skills, which makes it so hard for me to sell myself when I'm applying for something because I I easily learn things, but you have to teach me them first. I If you want me to get a hard skill for this specific job, I probably won't have that hard skill, but I will have enough soft skills to be able to learn that really fast. But you need to have the patience to teach me first. And employers should want people who already know. People they don't have to teach. And that makes sense. But yeah, it's just been so hard to earn money, and I see people who get just like people my age who are getting raises or getting promoted, stuff like that. And I don't know, yeah, it's just been painful to think that some people my age are earning more, and honestly, I should stop comparing myself, but dude, it's just hard. Although I think earning wise, it's been better this year for me without going into any details. Next thing I wanted to talk about, which I already touched on, is when you finish college, you're expected to have a game plan. And good for you if you do. That's actually gonna save you a lot of stress for now. Although I think everyone will have to face the fact that not all of our plans will go our way. But just having a game plan in general is already much better than not having one at all. And I personally don't have a game plan. Like I don't know which way to go. And while that's not bad, it makes life really hard. Making decisions for yourself is really hard when you don't have a game plan because you don't have a goal. So you don't know where to base your decisions on. I don't have things figured out, and I know a lot of people who have already figured it out will say that it's fine to not have figured it out at our age because they didn't at our age. But still, when you're the one not knowing what to do, even if you know that in the future you will know, it's like when will that happen? How long do I have to wait until I figure things out? Until I have an epiphany? People keep saying that you can take your time. And really, I've been trying to tell myself I can take my time. But it's so hard thinking that next year I'm 25. And I'm still as clueless as I was when I was 23. I'm torn between the people who are saying that you have to grab the world by the balls or whatever, and people who are saying take your time. Because I do want to grab the world by the balls, but I I don't know in what way. Like I don't know where I'm going. So I do need to take my time to figure out how I want to conquer the world, or like, I where where am I supposed to be going? If anyone can tell me, just just let me know. I've really just been torn between being able to take my time and also people saying never waste opportunities. Because sometimes the opportunities that come, I really don't feel ready. And people are like, you will learn on the job. Sometimes that works, but sometimes if you force it, that opportunity that you accepted because you're not ripe enough for it, it will break you. And that has happened to me this year, and I'm really afraid of doing that same mistake. I just want to let everyone know that taking your time is not embarrassing, and I should also remember that. It's just hard to remember because I always question if I'm even actually still young and if I actually even still have time, because again, it's this looming thought in my head that I am turning 25 this year. I am turning 25 next year. What the heck? That's my calendar. And with that in mind, do I even qualify as young anymore? Do I qualify as someone who can take their time? And obviously, the answer people will tell me who are beyond 25 is that you are young. But people who are younger than me will be like, you're so old. And I guess that's just how life is. And the thing about having time is that as long as we are alive, we have time. It doesn't matter what our age is, we will have time to figure things out. I guess it's also just I'm an impatient person and I just want to know. I just really want to know, but for now we don't. And I guess I should accept that. I think what's also been triggering the my post college identity crisis is that I feel like a non career girly in a world of career girlies. I see all of these girl bosses my age on TikTok who seem to be like just they just know the trajectory that they want for their life and they will pursue that. And I really really admire that, but I genuinely don't think that I am a career girly, and I don't think I ever will be. I want to have a job that is fulfilling and something that is related to the things that I'm passionate about, something creative, something that is related to my advocacy. I don't have any interest in climbing the corporate ladder or being the one who sells the most stuff to people. I just don't have it in me to put all of myself in my career. And I think it's partly because I already did that with school and I don't want that to happen again to me. It's just been hard dealing with insecurities about my career just because I know that I haven't really figured it out and other people seem to, other girlies seem to, and they seem to be moving forward and I'm not. I'm just here. And I know that's not true. I know that I've been growing as a person. That's just how being a person goes. I don't know if I'm doing enough. I don't know if I'm doing as much as I can like they are. I know that I am. I know that I'm doing enough, but I just can't I just can't fully let go of the idea that I should be doing more. There's also this thing that people say that if you do your passion as your job, then you'll be fine. And I already talked about passion and burnout in another video, but I guess I just wanted to touch on it again. I do think there are people who can only do a career that is their passion, like that's just the way they are as a person. Their job is their life and their passion is their job, and it's just all one amalgamation. And there are people who have passions outside of their job and they keep their job so they can fund their passions. But I think there's also someone in the middle who has a job that's not necessarily their core passion, but it is adjacent to their passion. I don't know if it's actually my passion to write. I love writing and I love storytelling. I just feel like if you tell someone that something's your passion, you're just really good at it. And I'm not the best at that. I'm not the best at my craft. And I know that. I'm really self-aware. I'm pretty decent, but I'm not Gia Tolentino levels. And I get it. It's fine. Wait, what was I talking about? I got off track, but I was saying there is something in the middle where it's someone who likes their job, but it's not necessarily their passion. It's adjacent to their passion. I think the best example for me is a teacher, because for teachers, not all of them are passionate about like making their curriculum, making their syllabus, or education as a system. But they might be passionate about what they're teaching. It's not necessarily the act of teaching that they're passionate about, but they do like teaching enough to do it. But what they teach about, like what their subject is, they are passionate about that outside of teaching. Why am I talking about this? I guess it's just like I don't know where I am. I don't know where I am in the sense that which person I want to be. And I guess it's also because I don't know what my passion is. Because I know I love writing. I know I love making videos. I know I like reading. I know that I love all these things. But is my love for them enough for me to call them my passion? You know? Excuse me. This is what I mean when I say post-college identity crisis. You will have to know yourself all over again. And you will have to figure out how to do that. Because in school, you learn who you are because of the things that school throws at you. But outside of school, it's almost like you have to throw yourself into things so you figure out who you are, what you want, what you don't want, where you want to go, where you do not want to go. I guess it's harsh for me, and it's harsh for you if you're also doing this, to pressure yourself to already know who you are, because 1 year of trying to know a person is a lot of time, but it's also not enough time to know the entirety of someone. And also, we always change, stuff like that. But it's just, I've been out in the world without the protections of school for a year. I think it's unfair of me to expect myself to just know things already. Sometimes I compare myself to my workmates and they seem to know what they're doing with their lives. But if I talk to them, the age that they figured out what they want to do is like late 20s, 28, and I'm not there yet. Why am I? And they've just started figuring it out. So why am I, as a 24-year-old, expecting myself to be on the same track? We're not even the same age. Come on. Sometimes I think of that and I'm like, maybe things will be fine. Other things that have helped me, this is so funny. I made a list, and the first thing on the list is avoiding comparison. And this whole time, I've been talking about how I keep comparing myself. But just when I have enough strength to stop the cycle, I kind of be like, stop comparing yourself. I think if we all identify as one of the 7 capital sins or something like that, I am envy. And I do not want to be a jealous person. Just in general, not even like relationship wise. I think I'm just a really jealous person. And I think that's why I keep comparing myself, because I have this tendency to feel jealous. And that's also why I should stop comparing myself, because I know that I'm already a jealous person, and then I will fuel it with more comparison. Like, girl, stop. Second thing that has helped me is giving myself the space to know myself more outside of school. Like I told you, I've been trying to explore, I've been embroidering, I've been watching shows, I've been reading, I've been trying to write, I've been trying to go out, I've been trying matcha to tell myself that I like matcha. I'm starting to like it, honestly. I've just been trying different things. I even applied to a job that I quit, and that made me know myself more. Made me realize that school really had me in a chokehold. Third thing that has helped me is trying new things and accepting when they don't work out for me, related to the second one. I applied for a job, I got in, I quit. Accepting when they don't work out for me. Because honestly, in the past, it would have been much easier for me to just be miserable for a year until I can quit my job. Sometimes you have to do the harder thing. Fourth thing is talking to people who are in the same boat, or talking to people who have overcome it. So first, talking to people who are in the same boat is just talking to people who are also like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. This is a lot of people, but specifically Gabby, my friend in senior high. At this point, our post-college identity crises are joined at the hip. When I feel the identity crisis worse, she also feels it worse. And it's just funny. I think it makes me feel seen. It makes me feel understood. It makes me feel okay when we talk, because I know that it's not just me. And I know that there's nothing wrong with me, because I don't think there's anything wrong with her. Because I know that they're trying to figure it out. They have all the time in their lives. So I should think of myself the same way. The second one, about talking to people who have overcome it. This is more of something that I realized recently with work. With some of my workmates who are maybe now pursuing grad school, I realized how much time it took for them to figure it out. Makes me realize that I do have time for real. And I'm not just like saying that to myself to make myself feel better. It's true. Just knowing that they also felt like this before and they did overcome it, it makes me feel hopeful for myself. Last thing that has helped is having a mentor. And it's just been helpful because, one, he like throws me questions about my decisions that help my like brain work as to what I really want to do with my life. It's also just been comforting to know that I'm not alone when I make these decisions. I can ask someone if I'm making the right one, if they have advice, if I land a job that I apparently don't like, can I just quit? Stuff like that. It's just been a crazy year, guys. And I hope that if you're watching this and you're feeling the same, I hope that you remember that you're not alone because I'm literally going bananas over this. And also, if you haven't felt this yet and you're afraid that you will, first thing, maybe you won't. Maybe you're one of the career girlies. Maybe you're one of the blessed career girlies like the people I see on TikTok who are my age but are climbing the corporate ladder or something. Maybe that's you. Second, if you actually feel like this, remember that I also feel like this. And maybe if you feel this and it's like a few years have passed, maybe you can check on me and maybe you'll see that I actually figured it out. And maybe you can tell yourself that will be me in a few years. And if I still haven't figured it out a few years after this, then maybe that's okay also. Because maybe that means you also have more time than you think to figure things out. And maybe we don't have to figure it out. Maybe sometimes we just have to find the little joys that we have alongside our careers or whatever it means to be an adult. Sometimes we have to take life seriously, but sometimes we have to not take life too seriously. It's a delicate balance. I don't know how to close this episode. I haven't done a podcast episode in so long. But what did I used to say? Oh, that's the episode. That's all I have to say for this episode. Thank you for stopping by for a chat at Big Girl Brunch with Bern. If you'd like, you can follow or subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening to be notified when a new episode comes out. You can also follow me on Instagram or TikTok at Jelbadoodle where I'll be posting more podcast updates. You can also follow at Big Girl Brunch on Instagram if you just want to follow the podcast and not personal, no bad blood, no hard feelings. I'll catch up with you during the next Big Girl Brunch. Bye. Oh, also let me know if this camera is fine or I should go back to my original camera. That's all.